Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACCUPLACER Math Tutoring. Whew. What a crazy, crazy day. All right, so we tried the deep dive. I tried one way. Didn't really take too well because, a lot of people kind of got lost in the sauce and I wasn't so clear. But you know what? At least I tried something new. What did you try that was new today, huh? If you're here, go ahead and put it in the chat. What was one thing that you tried that was new? But what we're going to do for this next hour and 15 minutes, possibly just an hour, we're going to be looking at long division, okay? I keep seeing this. And then here's the thing. A lot of us haven't really been taught long division. As soon as this lovely thing came into the classroom, a lot of teachers just did not teach how to multiply nor how to divide. They just say, hey, just put it in the calculator, right? So we're actually going to take a look at that. That is actually going to be, if you're looking at the GED 1 to 2 point questions. If you're doing the ASVAB, that's one of those questions that you'll definitely see flooding in the 20s, and you definitely want to get past that 31. So one of the basic foundational structures needs to be done, which is long division. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at it from a 1-digit divisor as well as a 2-digit divisor. So if this sounds like something that you really want, come on in. This is the live for you. Hey, Jess, how are you? Welcome back. Now, this is going to be the free version. So it is going to be over an hour long. So I'm not going to cut it after 20 minutes. It's okay. You can come back. All right. So I know it was kind of weird and probably people were just like, wait, she's usually on for a while. And that was the very first time that I cut off, 1,100 people. And I was just saying, all right, if you want this, come on in. But there is something new and improved that's going on. I did decide to stay here on TikTok because I think a lot of people do not know or like to move, as well as just try to keep things simple for everyone. So I had to learn. It was a learning experience. So if you haven't noticed, when you signed in, there should be, I think, a star near my name saying that we have a subscription now. So I built myself a paid subscription. It's either at $6.99 or $9.99. So either way, it's going to be less than basically a coffee at Starbucks. So we're trying to keep it reasonable, but at the same time, trying to give you all of the resources that you need, either for the GED, the ASVAB, the TEAS test, the ACCUPLACER, and also for, especially this month, throwing in that SAT prep. Okay, so I'm definitely doing that for the math concepts. All right. I kicked you out. I kicked a lot of people out today. All right, so Andy did it. Hello. All right, so there should be something up there for you. So let's kind of get started. So especially to help those that haven't been doing long division forever. Like I said, ever since we had a calculator involved, a lot of people generally don't. Now, what we see as our first digit, this is our dividend. And the number that follows, that is our divisor. All right, so the way that you're going to set this up, I'm going to see if I can slide it over here just a minute. So how you set this up, and I think a lot of people say, okay, you're building a house, so what goes under the house? So your dividend is what's going underneath your house. And what's outside is your divisor. Okay. So when we're doing all of our results, our result and our answer, what we're trying to get, that's called your quotient. Okay, so I'm going to put that at the end. But It's so vital for you to understand your multiplication in order to respect the division. So we have to think, and we're going to do it one concept at a time. So here's my famous paper. I'm going to cover up. So we have to think through multiplication through groups. Okay? How many groups of 4 can go into 4 without going over? So how many groups of 4 can go into 4 without going over? Okay? Good. Is it Yasi? Good. Okay, Coco, let's do this again. So it goes into ones. Thank you, Andy. Okay. I'm still struggling. All right, Haley, good. There you go, Coco. There you go, Haley. There we are. Most next door. All right, so we have a 1. So the 1's going to go up here in the quotient. And then we think 1 times 4 will give me 4. After we figure that, then we're going to subtract. So 4 minus 4 will give us our 0. So now we're looking at the next term. So the next term is a 5, and we bring that 5 on down. Okay? So we find out how many groups of the divisor goes into that first term. Then you subtract. You always subtract. So when you subtract, this time we got 0, and then you bring down the next term. And then the process repeats. So we need to think, how many groups of 4 can go into 5 without going over? Okay. How many groups of 4 can go into 5 without going over? There you go, Caleb, Barry, Coco, Donna, good, Skip, Yazzie, Uno, yes, Mos, okay, Haley, good. All right, so again, 1 time. So 1 times 4, that gives me 4. And again, we're going to subtract. So now 5 minus 4, that gives me 1. So when I go over, this is my last digit. So as my last digit, I'm going to bring that bad boy down. So instead of it being a 1, now it's a 12. So then we do the process all over again. How many groups of 4 can go into 12 without going over? Okay, how many groups of 4 can go into 12 without going over? Okay, so Coco's 3, Donna 3, Gigi 3, Caleb 3. Okay, that's going to be 12. Callie Ryder 3, Yazzie 3, Welcome 3, Angela 3. Okay, Laurie, not 133, got a little crazy with it. Having issues with integers. Okay, so I do tutoring as well, so if I need to break down, I can. Okay, so Haley 3, not Colleen, try again. Miss B 3, oh, sorry. Zelda, Skip 3, good. My Mr. from another Mr. Stormblack 3, Gibson 3, okay. Okay, definitely not 2. All right, so we got 3. Because 4 times 3, that gives me 12. And when I subtract 12 minus 12, that will give me my 0. Now, there is nothing else that I can bring down. So this, if it was anything, where's my other pen? This can be your remainder. Okay, so what's down here will be your remainder. And since we don't have a number other than 0, we don't need that 0 as a placeholder. So that means my quotient, which is up here, okay, my answer for this is actually going to be 113. Okay? The reason why I'm also giving you some terminologies, they may ask you, all right, 400, and they might put it as plain day as this, but then they'll ask you, what is the quotient? Okay? They might ask you, what is the remainder of this division? Of this quotient? What is the remainder? Okay, so we have to know some of those terminologies. So dividend, divisor, dividend, divisor. Quotient is your result. And if anything remains when nothing comes down, it's going to be your remainder. Okay, that's only for decimals. Most. Okay, that's only for decimals. So like if they want it in decimal form, and again, you're going to have to look at your answer choices too. But in this time, we didn't need one. But if you do, you could put a decimal in 2 zeros, but don't make that into a practice, because if we ever come across, sometimes it could be written like this with a division sign. Sometimes it could be written as a fraction. Okay? These two things mean exactly the same thing. Okay? So we're dividing. So I know this is what's called an improper fraction. So if they say change this improper fraction to, like, say, a mixed number, okay, we're not adding any decimals. Okay? So it all kind of depends on what is being seen. So my suggestion, you do your division. If you do have another number to bring down, or if you do have a number down here for your remainder other than 0, take a look at your answer choices. If you see fractions, you're basically taking your remainder and putting it over your divisor. Okay? So let's say, for a sick and twisted reason, just pretend that this was like, say, 13 minus 12. Your remainder would be 1. So for your quotient, you will have your whole number, but then you will put that 1 over 4. That's how we get our 1/4. That's how we get our fractions when we go from an improper fraction to mixed numbers. Your remainder is always over the divisor. All right. All right, so let's take another gander. Okay, let's take another one with 1. Okay, so if I have so here we go. We have our 2,432 divided by 8. So if you want to build your house, you can build your house. What goes under is your dividend. So that's your 24 and 32. And then your divisor is going to be outside. Okay? Because some people get confused of what goes where. Okay. I'm glad you think it's easy, James. Good. Okay. But for some people, this is probably their very first time seeing long division. Okay. Now, breaking it on down. So we're going to cover up the first term. So how many groups of 8 can go into 2? Okay. How many groups of 8 can go into 2? Okay, 0. Good. Okay, none. Excellent. Okay, not 34, but I think I know what you're trying to do, Paul. There's something missing, Paul, though. Okay, V is saying 4. Well, we can't. Good. Kaylin, there we go. Shells. Hey, welcome back, Shells. Okay, nothing, Angela. Is that Twitty? You forgot? Okay, so we can't. Okay, 8 is too large. So what some people like to do is put a 0 up here, but I notice a lot of students get confused about that. So instead of looking at it as a 2, let's expand it a little bit. Let's make it into a 24. So how many 8s can go into 24? How many groups of 8s can go into 24? There you go, Pebbles. Okay. All right. Where's Bam Bam? Sorry. I'm sorry. Showing my age with the Flintstones. Here we go. Good. Nice with the 3s. Good with the 3s. Definitely not the 67. Come on, Trent. Let's get it going. All right. He's around. There we go. Thank you for the sense of humor. All right. We know that 3 groups of 8, that gives me exactly 24. So now 24 minus 24, that gives me 0. So now, once we do the subtraction, bring down the next term, which is 3. Now, how many 8s can go into 3? Well, if they didn't have any 8s to go into 2, what do you think is going to happen when we go into 3? There you go, Kennedy. Awesome. Okay, nothing. Awesome. So in this case, since we're in the middle, okay, not starting off. When you're starting off, you don't have to put a 0 as a placeholder because it's not really going to affect anything. But in the middle of this problem, we're definitely going to have to put that placeholder of 0. Okay, in the beginning, doesn't hurt us. In the middle, it does. We need that. So we're saying, hey, there's no groups of 8s that can go into 3. So this gives me my 0. So now 3 minus 0, that still gives me 3. But then we can bring down the next term. Okay. So now we have to ask ourselves that question. Yes, Pebbles, there we go. Thank you, Lori. There it is. So we have how many groups of 8 can go into 32? That's 4 groups. Because 8 times 4 gives me my 32. And if we subtract those, we get a 0. Now, for the ones that said 34, do me a favor. When you try to multiply 34 times 8, do you get your 2,432 back? Okay, that's another way that you can check it. So if you don't get that, right, you don't get that back. So if you just multiply 34 times 8, you're not going to get that back. Let's see, but so 34 times 8 gives us 272. Okay, so 34 times 8 gives us 272. That's not giving us our 2,432 back. So when you do it, just take a moment to check. Okay, and I'm going to tell you right here and now, every examination that you have, just because we miss 1 or 2 digits, they will definitely have that as one of the answers. Hands down. Okay, diabolical. I know. Hands down. So it was important in between or in the middle of the problem, it's important to have the 0. In the beginning of the problem, not so much. Okay, not so much. All right. Okay. I do for my deep dives. All right. How are we feeling with the 1 divisor? Would you like to see one more with the 1 divisor before I get with the 2? Talk to me in the chat. Okay, I got one person saying one more. Okay. Okay, Seeking saying yes, yes, one more, yes, yes, please, yes. All right, that's all I needed. Okay, not a problem. All right, so For a moment, let's just do a quick tap. Let's see if we can get to at least 7. Can we get to 7K? Because the reason why I asked for the taps, I'm getting to learn this. I did a study up on TikTok a little bit. Because think about how you guys found me. Some of you guys found me on your FYP. And it's because someone that came into the live was like tapping like crazy. It's usually Michael or Jess or Danny or Janice. It's someone. It's always people. And I know there's more. So do I do qualitative reasoning? Not right now, Pebbles. I don't. Okay. So because of the FYP, you guys were able to find me. And if this is effective for you, awesome. Great. But it's all because of the tapping. That's what attracted. Okay, I don't know. Sometimes you guys be like, look, I don't know why you came up. I don't know either. Maybe that one time you were looking up for a math problem. And then all of a sudden you just got caught in that loop. Okay, so if we can do this so I can help more people, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, I know it's hard to basically get... Oh, damn. Okay, good job, guys. It's hard to basically try to tap and learn at the same time. I get it. So I guess I just have to take some time to pause. Okay. So here we are with our house. I'm going to put my dividend, which is 64,152. And then we're going to divide that by 6. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. So now go ahead and give this a try. And if you like, you can always get like a small piece of paper. And if anything, so you can cover up and follow along one at a time. Okay. Sometimes I feel like that's less intimidating. So if you have like a small piece of paper, for me, an old envelope of a bill. We're adults now. Okay. So give it a try. Hold your answers. Okay. Okay. Hold your answers, and I'll let you know when to flash your answers up, okay? So hold your answers if you want to type it, but do not hit enter. Hold it. Control, people. Control. Good. Cool. Okay, so for people that are coming in, okay, we got our long division. I'll see if I can show you the previous one that we just did to kind of give you a little bit of lining. But I will go over this, but I just want to see what you guys can do. So people that are coming in, see if you can do this division. Do not put your answers up. I'll let you know when you can flash your answers up. You can type it in, but just don't hit enter, okay? We're going to demonstrate control. Okay, D&D, love that. Okay, hey Janice, how are you? Okay, hold your answers. I'm giving crooked fingers to people. Hold your answers, don't put it there. Okay, 10 seconds. We're going to put our answers up. All right, go ahead and put your answers in the chat. Let's see what we got. So we had 2 people beforehand. Okay, we got a couple 6s. We got some 103s. We got some 10 692s. Okay, now, where is Sheree? Or Shireen? Oh, Sheree. Renee. There we go. It's gonna come out soon. All right, so we got some 10 692s. We got some 67s. I have 1 692. I'm getting 1825.2, 1692. Yep, long division. 10 692s. Okay, a few 10 692s, but a few 1692s. Okay. Let's see. We got a 16 something. All right. But what is that something? All right. All right. So. Okay. Thanks for the follows. All right. So now I'm getting some 10 691s. Okay. We got a little mixture here. So let's take a look. Okay, so to kind of limit that, all right, so we got that. It's correct answer. Let's take a look. So first off, we have our 1 digit. So we have to think, how many groups of 6 can go into 6? Hopefully you're saying 1. So 6 times 1 will give us our 6. And then we're subtracting. So 6 minus 6, that will give us our 0. Then when we slide over, the next digit comes down. So here it is. How many groups of 6 can go into 4? There isn't any. So since there isn't any and we're in the midst of doing the division problem, we have to put a 0 as a placeholder. Okay, in the very beginning, not so much, but inside, we have to put that 0 down. So 0 times 6, that will give me my 0. So now 4 minus 0 will give me 4. So now I'm repeating the process by bringing down the next digit, which is a 1. So instead of looking at it as a 4, now I'm looking at it as a 41. So how many groups of 6s can go into 41 without going over? I know 6 times 7 is 42. That's 1 more. So that means I'm dealing with 6 times 6, which gives me 36. Okay, do we see what happened now? Thank you so much for the 6s. I love it. All right, so now 41 minus 36, that gives me what? That's all right. Okay, we got some 5s cold cut. Thank you, Tab. Go ahead, Noel. Got you. Good. So we got our 5. And if you're wondering how that happened, we borrowed from the 4, made that into a 3. So since we borrowed one of those 10s, that means we made this 1 into an 11. So 11 minus 6 gives me 5. 3 minus 3, that gives me 0. So now I'm going to bring down the next term. So instead of 5, it's a 55. So how many groups of 6s can go into 55 without going over? Okay, so that's what our 9s. Good, Tiger. Good, Tab. Is it Binta? Okay, Cheryl. Good, everyone. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Because 9 times 6, that gives us our 54. So now 55 minus 54, that gives me 1. And then what's left is the 2 that we need to bring down. So instead of a 1, it's a 12. Now how many 6s, groups of 6s, can go into 12? There we go. Nice, Shantae. Okay, good, sweetie. Good, Mel. Good, Tiger. Stephanie. All right, I think I missed a couple people. Okay, Nash. So we have our 2. And then this, 12 minus 12, it gives us 0. So we do not have a remainder. So our answer for this problem is going to be 10,692. Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, I do not do Calc 2. That is not my jam. But there is a gentleman, Robert Treves, the AP math guy. You can look him up. He definitely knows how to do that. All right, seeking. Not a problem. Teach better than teachers? Well, I used to be a teacher. Is it math fun? It is fun. Okay. How often do I go live? I go live every day. And on top of it, for those that are taking their GED, their ASVAB, their ACCUPLACER, TEAS test, IBEW test, anything that is needing an exam that is needing with algebra, I'm doing what's called a deep dive. So for my free sessions, which this is what you guys are on, so you don't have to leave. I'm not going to cut you off. I know, I felt weird doing that. But for the free sessions, I'm going with the basics. It's going to be my back to basics stuff. So fractions is going to be the next one. That's going to be tomorrow night at 7, I think. Hold on. Tomorrow night at 6. Sorry, because I have somebody later on that night. So tomorrow night at 6 p.m., that's going to be another free session. We're going to be working on fractions. So all those basic, if you're taking your GED, the 1-point questions and 2-point questions, I'm going to be hitting on those hard. People that are taking the ASVAB, trying to get into the military, those 20s, early 30s type questions, that's what I'm going to be hitting hard on. But I have something called a deep dive that I'm trying out. I tried to do it a little earlier, but now I'm doing it as a subscription. So I do have some paid subscriptions, okay? If you go with the paid subscription, the deep dive is already going to be covered. It's like either $6.99 for the month or $9.99 for the month. The difference with the $9.99 is you get a copy of the replay. Okay, so that's one major thing. And also you get discounts on my notebooks. Okay, so right now I'm running a sale on my notebooks. All these notebooks that I'm writing in, I actually designed. So not only does it have the instructional pages, it also has your resource pages in the back. So anybody is stuck with their multiplication or division, not sure how to do the factors of a certain number. So like, what's my factors of 72? Okay, let me come over here to 72. So I have the factors 1 and 27, 2 and 36, 3 and 24, 4, 18, 6, 12, and 8, 9, right at your fingertips. So you don't have to go guessing in the calculator when you're trying to do factoring, when you're trying to break down radicals. It's all here, as well as other rules and regulations that a lot of people generally forget when they're coming here. Okay, so we have all of these decimal operations, fraction operations, all of this, placeholders, all of the basic things that you see in Algebra 1 is all listed in the back, okay, including volume and surface area, and not forgetting conversion chart. So we have all of those things. Hello, you don't know me, okay? So if you do, I am having a sale on this whole entire book, because this is the cover of this one. This is for Algebra and Algebra 1, so all those components. So if you're taking the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, that is definitely going to be the book that you need for you. You do not, as soon as I can find my papers, there we go. So, but the sale is only here on my books account. So my books by Audrey Codner. So you'll see tons of this and other books. And I also have courses if you're interested in courses. Okay. All right. So this is where you want to go if you want to purchase your books. You'll get them roughly in about a week. Because right now we're not so much into the blown holiday season, but I know when October hits, they're going to start getting jammed up because people want to design books for like holiday seasons and stuff. Okay? All right. So that's what that part is. So let's get back to it. Oh, you subscribe? Yay! Yes, of course. Your 5th grader is watching. Do another one. Okay, can we put a please on there? Because we need for our little 5th grader to practice up on that. Okay? Yeah, for me, I'm all about being polite and stuff. Okay? All right. Definitely. Not a problem. Thank you all. You know, I don't care what the world is doing. I know we got some home training. All right? All right. So let's take it a step up to those 2 digits. Okay, let's take it a step up to the 2 digits. So if I say 688 divide by 16. So this will be our next example. Okay. So you might, because we're looking at those 2 digits, we might need a little bit of a calculation, or if you have your factor sheet, or if you have a multiplication table, that will be best as well. All right. So, yeah, we're not going to do it with decimals, general. We're going to try to embrace our love of fractions. Okay, so here we are. We have our divisor, which is the 16. We have our dividend, which is our 688. And we're going to break this down step by step. Sorry, I have to move my pens and stuff. Okay. So, like I said, some people get overwhelmed. So this is why I use like little slips of paper. So I cover up 1 digit. So let's take a look. How many groups of 16s can go into 6? I know I'm insulting your intelligence. Just work with me. Okay? So, right, good. We got zeros. Good evening. So we got zeros. Can't go into 2s. We got zeros. Okay, hey Danny. So knowing that bit of information, we could put a 0 up here. Okay, but this is going to be the lead of your quotient. So it doesn't matter. That means that 0 in the front, that's just a placeholder and it's holding nothing, right? So we want to extend. When we first start, we can extend. So we want to ask ourselves, all right, so how many groups of 16 can go into 28 without going over? Okay, Janice is saying 4. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Sweetie's saying 4. Bitna saying 4. Bitna saying 4. Angela 4. Ty 4. Hey, Rosette, welcome back. 4. F Sport 3. Okay, we got 4, we got 5, we got 3. So let's take a look at this. What is 16 times 3? Okay, we're getting some 4s. Okay, we got 48s. Thank you, Jan. 48. Star, not 39. 48s. Here we go. 2. Bobby. Come on. At least pick a number that's bigger. 2 digits. Thank you. All right, so 48. Yes, it can go into there. So what's 16 times 4? Yana, thank you. Good. Sky, good. Not 50. Good. 64, 64, 64. Thank you. Now, 16 times 5, that's going to be 80. Way too big. Okay? 16 times 3, way too small. So here we are, 3 little bears. We're going with the 4, which will be just right with our 64. So now, when we subtract 68 minus 64, that gives us our 4. Then we go to the next number, which is the last number, which is 8. And we bring that 8 on down. So instead of looking at a 4, we're looking at a 48. So how many groups of 16s can go into 48? So Tiger, twice side, we got 3, good. General 3, Angela 3. Hello, Big Red. Sky 3, Yana 3, Danny 3, Skeet Daddy. Same 3. All right, good. Susie 3. Nice. So that will give us our 48. And 48 minus 48 will give us our 0. So our answer is 43. Okay. So regardless if you're doing a 1-digit divisor or 2-digit divisors, you're basically doing the same process. But when you start off and you know you don't have enough, extend, then do the work. But if you're in the midst, if I may flip this over for a moment, but if you're in the midst like we were here, once we pull down the 4, and we know we didn't have enough groups of 6s to go into 4, we had to put the 0 in. Do you guys see the difference of when to use the 0 and when not to use the 0? That's like crucial. Okay. Oh, I did? Oh, I'm sorry. This is what happens when I get so like in tune to my stuff. Oh, thank you. Whoever gave me a galaxy. Jeez. Appreciate that. And the crane. Thank you for the crane. Please solve that. Why is it not 10? Because here's the thing, twin. Are you going from left to right? Because I know for a whole thing, you're doing 6 times 2, and that's not 6 times 2. Because 6 squared is not 12. 6 squared is 36. Okay? Yes, of course. I'm getting right into it. All right, so go ahead and let's see if we can do a mad tap. There's 935 of us. I really think that we can get to 35 in a heartbeat. Well, 30 at least. Okay, let's do a mad tap before we can get to the next one. I would greatly appreciate it. So I'll set it up while you get the next one ready. Okay, and as people are coming in, the next deep dive that I'm going to be doing with ASVAB tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is going to be for subscribers only. So if you're a paid subscriber, that's going to be the thing for you. We're probably going to be doing a little bit with, I'm going to start off with a free session for about 15 minutes. I'm going to stop and then go to the subscriber. Okay. I always will give you like at least a good 15 minutes. You know, I feel like a drug addict or like I'm going to give you a little taste. And then once you get that little taste, you're going to have to hold on to it because I know eventually you're going to come on in. Ugh, terrible. Okay. So, but here's my thing. We got that one. But tomorrow night, we are going back to the basics. We are going to be doing fractions. Okay. Okay, that's going to be at 6 p.m. And I might do a PSAT, so if you have any older kids, especially juniors, because the PSAT is next month, October. And this is the big one. You know, if you're thinking about going the college route, this is the one that colleges look at your junior year. Okay, they look at that junior year one each and every time. Okay, awesome job, guys. Appreciate it. I mean, I would love for the likes to be at that 100K. That would be an awesome goal to have. But if I can get 50, I would be just as proud. Okay. All right. I know, I'm sorry. But if you really look at everything that goes on with life, everything has that mentality. Give them a little taste and they will always come back. Why do you think when you go to Costco or BJ's or any of those warehouse places, they always have tasters? Because they know you're going to take a taste and next thing you know, you're going to be craving it. You're like, ooh, it's so nice and creamy and salty or whatever. And then they got you. It's crazy. Oh, this person came and they remembered that they gave you a 25 to maybe a 50% discount. You're going to go back to that store, especially if it's a good value. Yep. They know what they be doing. Oh, not the divisor. The dividend? Yeah. But you got it. You got it. What's the ASVAB? It is the exam that people that want to go into the military have to take. There is like 2 parts to it. One of them deals with like the academic and the other one is more career oriented. So they have to see if you get that passing score. Like for the Army is they have to score 31 or more in order for to qualify. Got you in a chokehold. Mm-hmm. Oh, they're less productive, getting millions. Oh, okay. I know, right? My friend and I were talking about that the other day. We're like, all I have to do is just watch a video. And that's it. But I would appreciate anything that we can share. All right. You scored in the low 90s? Awesome. Yeah, because I know Army, the highest you can get is like a 99. And there was a young lady that came to our lives and did a little bit some tutoring. And she scored a 96. I mean, she worked her butt off, but she scored a 96. So proud. All right. Whenever you're ready to put your answers in, give it a try. Now, here's the thing. If you don't know, put a question mark. Trust me, it's not Squid Games. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. Your brother scored a 99? Wow. I was like, is he trying to be a general? All right. Ibra, thank you for your honesty. Okay, so I'm seeing a couple 67s earlier. Okay. Favor, thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Appreciate that. Okay. All right. Helicopter mechanic. Yeah. That's awesome. It's never supposed to happen the way it did. Okay. Gotcha. Let's do it, please. Sure. Okay. How am I being rude? Okay. What's happening here? Okay. Oh, the whole calling me bruh. I'm telling you, I worry about y'all. Okay, so, yeah, don't worry. But this is what we do. This is what we do. So my thing on this platform, I like to help people that always struggled with math and they're just trying to find or refine their love of math. Maybe even build up some skills to help their own kids. So we don't pass this whole thing called math phobia around. So I like to break things down step by step, but I like to give people time to process because everyone doesn't know how to get it done like this. Okay, we're not machines. It's time for you to deprogram. Hence, that's why I got the light music on. That's why the lighting is nice and low so we can relax. Okay? If this is too much and it's too slow, I love the fact that you stopped by, but then this is just not the platform for you, okay? All right. Okay. Yep, all you have to do is just message me if you want tutoring. So, we cover up. We know that we can't have 42 can't go into 1. So we know that part already. So if we extend out, we got 11. We know that 42 can't go into 11. We don't have to put the 0 because that's starting everything off. Don't need that as a placeholder. So we extend out. Now we have 111. Okay? So, how many times or how many groups of 42 can go into 111? Okay. Someone's, hey, Cece, welcome back. So we have our Cece, we have Kayla, we call Colita's World, Renee, Star, Sim, Yes, Aaron, Kristen, Toya, Katrina. Hey, it's like Michelson, welcome back. Okay, love it. So we're going to put our 2 up here. So now we have our 42 times that 2. That gives me 84. So the 84 is coming right here. The 1s are in the 1 spot. The 10s are in the 10 spot. And we're going to subtract. So right here, we can't go 1 minus 4. Not enough. So we're going to borrow from this 1, make it a 0. And now instead of a 1, we made that into 11. So 11 minus 4, that gives me my 7. Now, this is the thing that drives me nuts. We got 1 and 0. Just make it into a 10. So 10 minus 8, that gives me a 2. Okay? We don't have to be like, oh, I need to borrow from this 1 to make it a 0, then make it a 10. It's already a 10. Okay? It's already a 10. So now, we have to bring down the next number. And you're like, oh man, it's like 276. Exactly. So we need to figure out how many 42s can go into 276. Okay, so Rhodey's saying 6. Beta 6. Dee Dee 6. Renee 6. Galisa 6. TikTok, Mom of 2, 6. Slim saying 4. Rosette saying 6. My twins, 6. CC 6. Okay. So, not 8. 8's way too much. 8's way too much. So, we have our 6. Because 6 times 2, that gives us our 12. Carry the 1. 6 times 4 is 24 plus 1 will give us our 25. Okay, because if I did 42 times 7, that'll be 294. That's way too much. Okay, so when we do our subtraction, we got our 4, we got our 2. So we have our 24, bring down that last digit, which is our 7. So let's think. Obviously, it's not going to be more than 6 because when we got 6, we got 252. So it is going to be our 5, right? So that makes it a 10, carry the 1. 4 and 5 is 20 plus 1 gives me 21. And when I subtract, I have my 7 and my 3. There's nothing else that I can bring down. So this 37 is my what? Okay. This 37 is my what? Okay, Layla saying it. Or Leela saying it, sorry. Good. Is our remainder. Good. Here, chat. Redo. Okay. So we have our remainder. Good. Excellent, guys. So if this is our remainder, and I know certain places will put an R with the 37. Some places will have this be our remainder over our divisor. You're going to see this more so than the R, okay? Unless they revamped all of the tests, which I don't think they did, okay? They're always going to put their divisor over, the remainder over the divisor, okay? This is going to be what's called your exact answer. When they say, what is my exact answer? They don't want decimals. They don't want any rounding. Okay? So when they say exact, that means you're taking whatever your remainder is and put over the divisor. If they say approximate, that's when you will continue on and put a dot and 2 zeros. Okay? Okay? So the fraction is basically telling you that this is going to be your exact answer. Okay? Yes. Okay, so we have a proper fraction. And it's always sometimes needed. We can reduce the fraction if needed. If it can be. Yep. Okay, so I like, because majority of the time you're going to see this, but if you are, if I may, let me recopy this so I can show you how to do the approximate. So you got both of them going for you. All right, so while I'm setting that up, go ahead and keep tapping. Let's see if we can get to 50. There's like 685 of us. Let's see if we can do a mad tap. I'm just going to rewrite, and I'm going to put it in blue, but I'm going to show you what the approximate looks like. Okay. Yep. Keep tapping. Keep tapping. Let's see if we can get 10. There's like 747. Oh, we're playing. Okay. Let's see if we can get it to like 50. See if we can get it to 50. Okay. Hey, Big Al. How are you? Oh, wait. Got that fun puzzle piece. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, we're not doing the area model. Is this just curious? Old school, thank you. No problem. All right. Okay. So now, when it comes from, did someone just ask when do we use this in real life? Every blessed day, my love. You're always doing division. You're always breaking things into smaller chunks. You're always trying to basically, you use this stuff more so than completing the square. This is like life. This is budgeting. This is how you're paying for things. Like, yeah, every day. I think a lot of people just say it in math places because a lot of people say, we don't need math. Okay, go ahead. Do a life without math. Remember, decisions, making decisions, that is a component of mathematics. Yeah, lots of things. All right. So now, if we were to continue on our venture and they wanted to get the approximate answer, this is when you put your decimal point, not only in the dividend, but also in the quotient. Notice the decimals would be lined up. So we're going to continue on. Let me put this in green. So we're going to bring down the 0. Okay? We're going to bring down that 0. So now we're asking ourselves the question. How many groups of 42 go into 370 if we were to take the approximate? I think 9 will be a little too much. Let me double check. Yeah, 9 will be a little too much. But you're around there. Nope, the decimal does not go down. The 0 does. Okay? So we're saying 9, we're saying 7, we're saying 8. Now, for 9, you will get 378. That's too much. We don't want to go over the 370. Okay? So if we did the 42 times 8, that was a 16, there's 336. If you did 7, that's going to be way lower. And we don't want to get too low. So that's why the 8 is actually going to work best for us. So I'm just going to keep it in the green family. Okay. So I'm going to borrow from the 7 to make it a 6. Make that 0 into a 10. So 10 minus 6, that gives us our 4. 6 minus 3, that gives us our 3. And 3 minus 3, that gives us our 0. So we have our 35. But then we have our one last 0. Okay. So now we have to think. How many groups of 42 can get close to 340 without going over? There you go, and that's 8 again. Good, Rowdy, 8 again. So we bring our 8. We have our 336. Do our minus, but this time we borrow from the 4 to make that into a 3. make that 0 into a 10, and we have a 4. Okay. So if we added another 0, I'm just being devil's advocate right now. If I did add another 0 and bring it down, I would get 40. And there isn't any groups of 42 that can go into 40. So you know that this digit is going to be a 0. So if they want you to find the approximate, they're usually asking for the tenths, rounded to the tens position. Or they might ask you to round to the hundreds. They very rarely have you ask to the thousands. And what I'm talking about is the GED, the ASVAB, the TEAS test, okay, ACCUPLACER. They always like to keep it around to the hundredths with the TH at the end position, okay? So they usually very rarely ask you to go to the thousandths position. All right. So there you go. So you can say 265.90, okay? Because remember, if it's 5 and above, we give it a shove. That means we add 1 to the previous spot. All right, if it was 4 and below, we leave it alone. Okay. All right, so all those sayings, yes, all those sayings quickly come rushing back when it comes to these. Now, again, you have to read the question. Okay, anytime they give you a question, you have to read it. Are you looking for the exact or are you looking for the approximate? Okay, and you can tell which one you're going to need by looking at your answer choices. Remember, majority of those examinations are multiple choice. Okay. And the reason why I teach it this way is because all the standardized testing is basically the same thing. You have to do what's called POE, P-O-E, process of elimination. Standardized testing, if you do process of elimination, you will do well than trying to memorize every formula, and finishing the problems, because this is the one thing a lot of people complained about with the exam. They ran out of time. And it's not because they didn't know what was going on. They ran out of time. So say, if I may, those earlier problems that we had, okay? A lot of them pretty easy, okay? Pretty simple when it comes to the process. Once you see the 1 for the first, if I was dividing this, and I said, okay, I get a 1. I'm immediately looking at my answer choices to see which one leads with a 1. If 2 out of the 4 answers give me a 1, right away, those other 2 answers, I'm Xing them out. Then I keep going to the next stance. Okay, I got 2 1s. Oh, of the 2 choices, only one of them gives me a 1 1. That's my answer. No question. Okay, they're not trying to do anything tricky. Everyone keeps thinking they're trying to do tricky. We ain't got time for tricky. They just want you to pick A, B, C, or D. Some exams, there is an E option. All right. Okay. High school now, so thank you. Not a problem. Not a problem. There you go. See, I love that because I wasn't always strong in math. I used to hate math. Just like most of you guys. Fractions, wasn't doing that. Word problems, hell no. Definitely weren't doing that either. Okay? But we all have to understand. We went through a pandemic, and I know people are like, oh, that's no excuse. No, that's a major excuse. That's not even an excuse. There were some teachers that were working, but there was a lot of teachers that weren't. And plus, a lot of them were at that pivotal point, like 3rd and 4th grade. Pivotal point. So there was a lot of shortchanging. So now we got a lot of high school 9th graders and sophomores and juniors that are struggling. And what are they struggling with? Basic concepts like this. Okay? So as we're going on, I'm going to see if I can do one more for you guys. But here's another thing. If by chance you're like, man, I wish I can stay, but you just can't, you can go here and you can go here. All right. Here I have all of my TikTok replays, all of them up to last night. Okay. The only replays that will not be on this channel is going to be the deep dives. I'll actually hand those to you. Okay. There's going to be probably a separate, what do you call it? Google Classroom that I'm going to put all those videos on. Right. But all of my free content, all those things, you can go here. And if you can, just to help me out, just a little bit, if you could do these 5 things, that would be amazing. All right. So again, if you do have someone that you need some tutoring, this is the time of year. Let's see if we can get them now before the end of the quarter. The first quarter will be ending soon. It's right around the corner. Okay. I know, you can't believe it. Just like we just started. But trust me, the pace that's happening in the classroom is really quick. Just like those that are going back to school, the pace is happening really quickly. So it almost seems like you don't have time for it to marinate. That's why I come on here to tell you, let's turn it down. Let's breathe. Let's see what's in front of us so we can break it on down. All right. Now, the Google Classroom, that's going to be for my subscribers, okay? So anything that I do for the deep dive for my subscribers, that's the replay if you do the $9.99, okay? You can get the replay. But this is one of my free sessions. So mostly my late night, my free sessions with the basic math, you can go here to get it. So tonight's give me about like tomorrow morning, because sometimes TikTok takes a long time for me to just upload, to download, and all kinds of crazy. But that's me. That's why I'm up at 2, sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning, or 5, whatever. It's life. Okay? All right. Okay. So, one more time. Okay, one more time. Why not? Let's see. Yeah, I'm filling this one right here. And thank you for getting me over 50K. I greatly appreciate that. And I'm hoping that this is really useful for you guys, possibly give you a little help, especially those parents that are homeschool parents or some teachers that just need like an extra resource, maybe someone that's going to be new to teaching that just needs an experienced teacher just to kind of like, I need to talk this out. Because don't let these kids in these administration drive you crazy. And admin, if you ever want to talk about stuff, we can talk about stuff as well. Okay. All right, so let's take a gander. So we have 13,714 divided by 72. And when you're ready to put your answer in the chat, go ahead and do so. Okay, can you put a little please in there? Now again, if you're not sure what it is, because I think some people came a little bit later, you can put a question mark if you don't know what the answer is. If you have a pretty decent idea what the answer is, go ahead and put it in there. Like, guys, this is not Squid Games. You're not going to get knocked off if you get it wrong. Okay? All we have to do is just something happens, we make the adjustment, and then we move on with our lives. Okay? All right? There's no judgment here. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, you don't know. Like, see, you haven't seen this since you were a fetus, and now you're sitting here trying to do work again. Okay? Give yourself some lessons. Okay? So you're saying 1, please, and thank you. Thank you. Okay, Mamacita's thinking 24. I'm saying 19. Is that 19.4? Okay. All right. There we go. All right. So let me cover. So we know that 72 cannot go into 1. So we expand. We know that 72 cannot go into 13. So we expand. So now we have 132 that can go into 72. That sounds better. So how many groups of 72 can go into 132? Like a couple of you guys said, is going to be 1. So we line up our 1 spots. We line up our 10 spots. Do not put the 7 underneath the 1. That's one thing I forgot to mention. If the 2 is in the 1's position and the 7 for the 137 is also in the 1's position, those need to line up. Okay? The 3 is in the 10's position. The 7 out of 72, that's in the 10's position. They need to line up. Okay? So especially if you have younger kids, that's the reason we line up 1s with 1s, 10s with 10s, 100s with 100s. So 137 minus 72. This, if I borrow from here, I'm going to get a 2. Then this 7 is now, oh, we don't even need to borrow. Duh. So that's 7 minus 2. That gives me 5. And then 13 minus 7. Okay, so 13 minus 7, that gives me 6. So we should have a 65. Now, we bring down the next number. So now it's 651. So we have to think, how many groups of 72 go into 651? You have 19? Okay, good. So this will give me a 9. Nice. Nads, good job. I just wanted to say your name. Nads. Kayla, good. Rosette, good. Because our 72 times 9, that gives me 18. 63 and 4 makes 64. Now I have to borrow to make that 4, make that 1 into 11, so that gives me 3. Okay. So then we bring down the next digit. We bring down that 4. We have nothing else to bring down. Say that we want it to be the exact. Okay, so if we want it to be exact, that means this 34, that's my remainder. Because there's not enough groups of 72 to go into 34. It's too big. So if I want to write this, I can write it 34 over whatever my divisor is, which is the 72. So 34 divided by 72, in a sense, that could be reduced because they're both even. Reduced by, good. Thank you, Chris. Always in the clutch. So that means we have 19 and 17 over 29. Wait, no. 36. I was like, how are we getting 39? Yeah, this is 36. I was like, I'm like doing the multiplication. I'm like, wait, because it's supposed to be divided by 2. Okay, so I'll write it again. 117, 36. There we go. So that is our exact answer. So that's what Michael was saying. If we can reduce it, and you're probably like, wait, how'd you get to 17? If I divide, both of them are even numbers. If I divide by 2, 34 divided by 2, that gives us our 17. No, not by 2. By 4, right? You can tell I'm starting to get loopy now. I'm starting to get loopy. No, by 2. 36. Okay. Yeah, it's time for me to stop. Once I start making little mistakes like this, that's when I'm like, and Audrey needs a break. Okay. All right. But do we get it? Are we good? Because that should be a 0, shouldn't it? Because it doesn't go into 34. We're going to need it as a 0 as a placeholder. Because when I multiply again, it's not giving me 13. But if it was 190, that will give me my answer. Yep. It's time for me to stop. I've been doing math all day. Yeah, because if I do the multiplication back up again, it will give me back to the 13. Yeah, because if it gives me 19, so 19 times 36, that would be 684, and then you're adding 17. Like, yeah, that's not enough. So since it doesn't go into the 34, we had to put the 0 up here. So it's 190 with the remainder of, once it's reduced, to 1736. Okay. Hello, Carla. Oh, because we reduced the 34 72. Because since 34 and 72, they're both even, that means it can be simplified. So when it's simplified by 2, that's where the 1736 come from. Yeah. Okay, I see, Michael. Thank you. I know, right? Self-awareness, man. Look, yay, using my new stickers. All right. Okay, so as I'm yelling at you, I'm so sorry. So that is going to be it for tonight because I know I'm getting loopy. So we just did basically long division with 1 and 2 digit divisors. So the next time, as I said, tomorrow morning, I'm going to be working on the ASVAB, a lot of the easy to like maybe those 20s to early 30s in the beginning. And then we're going to take a deeper dive with some of the word problems, especially from like ASVAB for Dummies. So I've been using a couple of those. Then later on, I'm thinking I'm going to pause on the PSAT because I can easily do that during the week, no problem. So for those that are in college algebra, 1 o'clock tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to pull some information, possibly do a little bit more with the slopes that I wanted to do today. I'm going to do that around 1 p.m., but that is going to be as for subscribers live. So you decide what type of subscriber you would like to be. But the next free one is going to be at 6 p.m. on Sunday, and we're going to be working on adding, subtracting fractions. If I can put multiplication in there, I will try. But when I say adding, subtracting, I'm also doing improper fractions as well as mixed numbers. Okay, so that is going to be on the agenda for tomorrow. All right. Yes. So GED is going to be today. The next time I do GED for the, if anything, you can come on. Because if we're going to do that for the college algebra, anyone GED, ASVAB, if you want to, well, ASVAB has the morning. But if you want to step in for the college algebra, because I'm going to be doing slope at 1 p.m. Okay. So if you're doing GED, you want to slide in to do that, you can do that. Yep, same as my tease test. Anybody that's doing algebra. My notepad, yes. Thank you. Yep, so if you want your own copy of the notebook, I do have them on sale for $10.29. Not only do you have like the note section of it, where you can break down all your concepts, as well as if you have any formulas, if you have some steps that you need to hit on. Okay, so like say for this one, for point slope, I have my steps right here. I have my formulas right here. It gives you a nice space, especially for you to do some graphing. No more looking for graph paper. It's right here. Okay, you got the dot side and you got the grid side. All right, if you want to take bits and pieces from your notes and cut them up and put them into your notebook, you can do that. But what's usually the big selling is the factor sheet that I have in the very back. Okay, the factor sheets and all of this. But let's say you like my notes and you're like, hey, Audrey, I love your handwriting. I love your notes. I wish I could just get your notes. Well, guess what, boo-boo? You can. All right. It's called Audrey's Notes. So right now we have books 1 through 5 on sale. So if you notice, you just get all the Xerox copies or the scanned copies of all my notes. And the one thing that you will notice that all of them have, let me relax. Okay, that you have all the QR codes. So if you scan this QR code, it will take you directly to the live that's associated with this page. So the matrices, adding, subtracting, and the scalar, they're all here. So you get it in color, okay, not black and white. So if you have, here's distance, rate, and time word problems. So if you want, it's basically me tutoring you, basically. But the one thing about these books is never sequential. Just like how I do my lives, one day I might be doing probability, the next day I'm doing geometry, the next day I might be doing something with Algebra 1. So, but if you need a course that's going to take you through GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, I do have courses on sale. And one more thing, for especially the regular notebook, I have it for my lefties. So all my lefties out there, if you need a math notebook that is a true left-handed notebook, I got you. Okay, so I think this is all of it. Oops. Okay, what's the times? Yep, sure. All right, so for tomorrow, what I'm going to do, because after this live, I'm going to straighten some things out. I'm actually going to put a post and pin it to my platform, to my profile, and it'll have all the dates and times. But for right now, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we got the ASVAB. We're going to go over the easy arithmetic or arithmetic sequence reasoning problems from ASVAB for Dummies. So I'm going to go over some of those. It's nice that you do have an answer key, but it'll be nicer that someone can explain it to you in plain English and how you can identify how to get that answer a lot quicker. Then at 1 p.m., college algebra people, come on in. If you want to be a subscriber, because it's going to be a subscription only type live. You know how they give you that little preview for about like a minute. Come on in, because we're going to be doing slope. So all the stuff that I was starting off with today, I'm going to see if I can continue on for tomorrow. So if you're also GED, if you want to stick around even longer for ASVAB people, you can. Okay, so that will be at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the next free session, which we're going to be doing adding and subtracting fractions, that's including improper fractions and mixed numbers, that's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Okay, so if you do want to get the books, okay, you can go straight here. Go ahead and just take a little screenshot. The book that, if you're going to be doing GED and Algebra 1 and even Algebra, get the pink with the yellow bubbles. I like lava lamps, so here we are. Child of the 70s, can't get it out. Okay. But if you need something for Algebra 2 and pre-calculus, it's a greenish book. Okay, I'm waiting for that to come into the mail so I can show you what that one is. Okay, a lot of the resources are a little bit different than this one. Okay, so if you have a child that's doing Algebra 2 or pre-calculus, you want to do the greenish book. If you just want this, and all my books right now are $10.29. Of course, that's before shipping and taxes. Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. So I think there is, near my name, there should be like some kind of star that you can actually click on that says subscribe. It should be there. Michael, did you see one there? Because I know you just subscribed. And if you need the replays of my free stuff, you can go here. Let me zoom in just a hair. Whoop, maybe not. Maybe not next week. Okay, maybe not. All right, so we'll just go here. You type in this. And if you can do these 5 things, I would greatly appreciate it. And if anybody wants tutoring, want to know what I tutor, this is basically what I tutor. You got your 7th grade all the way up to adults. So like Algebra 1, Algebra 2. Algebra 2 is really my jam. I love it. Also, a little bit of pre-calculus, not the AP pre-calculus. No, that can go back to the depths of hell, which it came. I don't know why that's out there. Geometry, trig, anything with GED, ASVAB, even the college algebra, any of that. All right. All right. Yay! I'm so excited. In the middle near the top. Okay. Thank you, Michael. Okay. All right. Awesome. So if anything, I'm going to shut down unless you guys need anything. Again, you can just send me a message. If you need some assistance with tutoring with your younger ones, just let me know. I know I only do 7th grade and up, but I do have friends that are slowly getting here on TikTok. I'm trying to bring their greatness here. So if you do have somebody that needs a tutor and that's younger than 7th grade, just let me know. I do have a list of people that I really trust, that will do a tremendous job and help your child to achieve. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for all you guys coming back. I know this morning was a little harsh. I felt really bad. I was like, there is 1,100 people, and I just shut the live off like I was Queen of Sheba. It just felt a little weird. All right. Hey, Teresa, thank you so much. Thanks for coming in. Right. Grade 4? Okay, Kayla. Yes, if anything, send me a message, please, because sometimes I don't see the comments, and that's what bothers me. I'm hoping to do that. Okay, you need help? Please put it in there. Put it in the chat, and then I can guide you into the right direction. Okay? Please let me know what it is. Don't just say hi, because I'll delete those automatically. I've been getting a lot of sugar daddies that want me to be their sugar baby. I am 52, soon to be 53. Like, no. But the way things are lately, by next week it might be a yes. But right now, we're going to say no. But I know, right? It's crazy, right? I test you. You test me. Oh, text me. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, everyone. I know, Big Al. I'm telling you, I'm a nut. And you can tell it's time for me to go to bed. But I'm glad you guys came in here. 1, thank you for the 55K. I appreciate it. 2, still over 200 people in here. I love this. So I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to check all of my messages so I can make sure I message you guys tonight. I'm going to download all these videos. The replay, it might be up like sometime early tomorrow morning, but it will definitely be done. All right. Love you guys. Continue to be awesome people. Continue to keep watching your 6. Who's got your back? Who's got your front? Keep looking around. And then no matter what, continue to enjoy life. Okay? You're amazing. You are absolutely amazing. And the world needs more people like you. All right? Okay. Have an amazing night. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye now.